beginning. Here we go. Okay, and this one seems to be without fresh. I don't know particularly why that is. If anyone knows and wants to give commentary on that, feel free. Looks like they started a short time ago. Okay, let's see.
I will say, I
think we're in agreement.
Agreeing with me.
Okay, looks like their audio was not working to start with. It happens. Let's go ahead and enlarge this.
We're late, and I don't want to say whose fault it is, but it wasn't me, and he's brown. So work it out. No, he's done a fantastic job with all the tech and stuff. I think this is going to be an interesting conversation. We're going to agree on a lot of things, but hopefully we can find some points of contention, because you know what? I think Nick has done a pretty good job of debating pretty much everyone, as have I. So it's been a while since interest. We perhaps,
I saw your tweet the other day, and I think the Groypers took it a certain way. I took it a certain way, but the fundamental point, I think we're in agreement.
What is a groyper? That term sounds disgusting. It sounds like a pervert of some sort. When I hear this term groyper, I just imagine like an overweight white guy with pimples on his face who still lives with his parents and drinks Slurpees from 7-Eleven. Like groyper? That sounds like super weird. Oh, I don't even have this audio coming through my mic. Come on, guys. There we go. Confirm that the audio is better. Carrying on.
So I think that probably by the end of it, we're going to be on the same side on it. Get fun. So maybe we'll find something to disagree about.
I feel I'm actually the absolute opposite. And the Groyper movement's not my movement. It's yours. You're on a generational run. You're doing fantastic work. The internet is yours. Twitter is yours. That can't be debated. And you should be very proud of yourself for that.
I don't know if they're having trouble with their internet, but it looks like Tate and Nick are frozen. But
I said what I said.
Okay, yeah, they're saying it in the chat that there's lag. So one thing you guys should know for sure is that these platforms are definitely they're throttling people. They're making the streams lag on purpose. They're not sending out notifications. As you guys know, I'm shadow banned. There you see, I was not notified for this live. Exactly. These are the kind of things that they're doing to curtail freedom of speech.
Speak like a conquered people. The point I was making is that I feel, and this isn't even necessarily your fault, because in all movements, there's going to be varying degrees of extremity and extremism inside of it. But all helpers will jump in to call me, as opposed to understand the point I'm trying to make. When I say that, it doesn't matter what laws we pass, it doesn't matter what legislation goes through the Congress, if white people don't have babies, you're soon to be replaced. The answer I get is, but the Jews made the white women not listen to us. And my answer to it is, well, now you sound like a conquered class. You sound like a conquered people. If the Jews are really trying so hard to subvert you from having children, then the correct answer is to have as many children as possible. The correct answer to my tweet is, they tried to stop me from having a bunch of white kids, but I did have a bunch.
So one thing you have to notice with these guys, whether it's Tate or Officer Fakem or Candace Slowens or who's the Hodge twins, these are all persons who are of impure blood, and they seem to be obsessed with promoting white supremacist ideology because they get patted on the head. And it's actually kind of weird and sad. And that's where you can see the lack of identity and the lack of self-respect in their conduct. And it's not to say that they're not smart or anything else like that. It's just to say that, how much of a man can you be when you lack self-respect, and then when you're doing everything to get the approval of people who actually don't like you?
Bunch of white kids. Look what I've achieved, irregardless of their attempts to subvert me, because I cannot be controlled. And there's a big difference between noticing a problem and using a problem as a cure-all excuse for your own personal circumstances. And I spoke in absolutes. Have I gone?
No.
Back? Can you hear me?
Back.
Okay.
Well, yeah, the point I was making is no promoted all of your clips saying exactly that. there is a large distinction between noticing a problem.
Wigger meaning, and the reason we call them wiggers as opposed to groypers or something else is because you're right. I would say that what is typified by black people.
Another thing I want you all to really take note of is the fascination. Those males who purport to be white supremacists, they have an obsession with black people, in particular the black male. And it really always goes back to sex. It goes back to the white woman in their mind doesn't want them because the black guys are stealing them away. And this is something that we can get into on a different conversation because it's deeply psychological. Back now, it's Mr. Goldston writes, I wanted to hear your opinion on this. Yeah, so far they're not cooking. Like I'm waiting for them to, kind of get into some more interesting topics. The talking about the blacks is a bit of a threadbare conversation. And also what you all have to notice about these personalities, obviously Tate is out for the money and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I commend that. Nothing wrong with being about a buck. And then Nick similarly is about the money, but he tries to take this like, oh, I'm so political bit when really he just wants to become more famous. And you'll hear him talk later about how the mainstream won't accept him. But if you look at, well, what is he doing on the ground? Nothing at all. That's why he's allowed to exist. Even while having a large voice and platform, he doesn't do anything on the ground because he's actually not serious.
Is this sort of victim mentality that says, oh, is it because I'm black? Oh, you only have a problem with me because I'm black. Oh, keeping the black man down.
Well, here's the crazy thing. It's like, okay, let's say you're correct, Nick. Okay, now what? What's next? How many times will you make fun of the blacks? How many times will you speak to the stereotypes, speak to the statistics? And more importantly, it's like, why are you so obsessed with it? Like you could be using this time to create a community, to maybe find a wife since you're so religious, find a wife, procreate. This guy's a closeted homosexual. And the strange thing is that people pretend as though it's normal to be as old as he is and have no woman and be a virgin while claiming that whites are being replaced. Well, then maybe if you weren't a homosexual, you could help increase the white population. Shout out to Sai, right? Thank you for this high-level analysis, listening while I work. Well, let's get after it.
All this kind of stuff. The reason we call them wigger nationalists is because they have kind of adopted the worst aspects of black identity politics, which is to say, oh, you have a problem because I'm white? Oh, they're keeping the white man down. Oh, well, they'll just call us racist. Well, they'll just call us Nazis. And my attitude towards the problem is always, they can't stop us.
Now, I want you guys to notice, he never gets to the point of saying, let's do this. Like, for example, you might say, well, Marquett, well, what do you do? Well, you heard me say that we should co-locate. Then you saw me buy 62 acres of land. You see me on a regular basis bringing people together in person. We have organizations throughout the earth, thousands of members, well organized, following one clear ideology. It's called action. Whereas in his case, it's more of this. And that's why he's in the mainstream, because they know that he's just an entertaining guy. And there's only certain types of characters they'll allow into the mainstream, right? Never had a girlfriend. That's just insanity. It's so strange.
So, like I did, and tell the truth directly and articulately, diverge slightly. Because I hear this all the time, and directionally strategy of like the...
I'm actually disappointed. I thought this would be a more engaging conversation, but I suppose they've said all that can be said, right? Now it's just a repeat. And I fear that the audience is so lonely and isolated and boring people that they're willing to just sit here and listen to the nonsense, even though they've heard it a million times.
Jews, as an example, they're 2% of the population, but they have this extraordinary influence. That's because they go for the locus of power. They're in LA, they're in New York City, they're in DC. These are the most powerful cities in the world. They're in San Francisco, they're in El Segundo. They're striking at the locus of power.
Segundo. That was crazy.
And from the locus of power proceeds the cultural standards, proceeds these dominant...
searching for more and more based to the point where no matter how much you do for them or try to help them, you're going to eventually not be based enough for them. And this is seen amongst white people in general. If we removed all the black people from Western civilization today, within 30 years, the Germans would be fighting the Italians again. I mean, that's what happened only 30 or 40 years ago. The Irish.
This is correct, and you wouldn't even need that long. And I spoke to this yesterday when I was talking to Ryan, who had called in, myself, and a fan of mine who's a white gentleman from the Midwest. And I was pointing out that the Caucasoids are warlike people, and even before colonizing foreign lands and colored people, they had warred against one another. This is what the Europeans do. And frankly, the concept of white is an American concept, whereas Europeans are going to deal with ethnic identities that are a bit more precise, right? And have more meaning. I'm Polish, I'm Czech, I'm fill in the blank. They have real shared histories, whereas white is basically saying I'm a mutt, right?
English are blowing each other up. And now Ireland and England amongst the internet. I remind the internet on October 8th, against all legal advice, I told Piers Morgan it was a genocide. I stuck up and was want you to do. And I believe that's how we win. That's how your movement and you become president.
Now, notice when we hear these folks speak of movements, have you ever seen them organize a protest, organize a march, organize a militia, organize anything in person other than a meet and greet? That's how you know that they're not serious. Come on now, work with me.
Of the United States. I think that's better for you and the movement as a whole. So when I made that tweet, that Groypers speak like a defeated people, that's because I'll say something and I speak in absolutes. I absolutely do. And I think trolling is hilarious. And I make it clear that, a white man, I say white man can't get a kid out of a woman unless he buys her 2 houses and 3 cars and a nanny. Ha ha ha. The Somalian can get 11 kids out of Fatima without a job. And I make a joke of it. All the replies is, well, now you're a Jew, you're a race mixing Jew, you work for the Jews. And I just think that is counterproductive. And I think this infinite.
Now, the funny thing is, these guys are all commentators. And so what he's complaining about are random people on Twitter calling him names. Who cares? It doesn't matter at all. If you've learned anything from the Israelis, is that opinion doesn't really matter. What you do matters. And that's precisely why we see that the Israelis are still bombing Gaza, like even though the entire world is against them, and even the Europeans, who are genocidal maniacs historically, are even starting to shift away.
Divisible, constant infighting.
A summary of it. I finish the thing and I get on my show and I say, it's weird she's putting it behind a paywall. I said, and all. So that confounded me, because that if I were an outside observer, I would look at Candace and Tucker and myself, and I would think we're all on the same side. We're all pushing in the same direction. Certainly we're all criticizing.
Well, how can you all be on the same side if you're a anti-black racist, white supremacist, and Candace is black? Now, we know she'd do anything to not be black, but in as much as that's the reality, how could you and Candace be on the same side? That just frankly doesn't make very much sense. Tucker is a pretty intelligent commentator who gives phenomenal insights, quick-witted, often critical. And most importantly, Tucker, unlike, say, a Tate or a Nick, he doesn't pretend to be more than just a reporter. He's a journalist, a properly trained journalist, whereas Andrew and Nick are pretending to be revolutionaries while having no sincere interest in that.
Israel, we're all against the war in Iran and the rest of it. And that's what I would tend to think. And yet, when I went out and did Candace's show, instead of talking.
You hear? We're still talking about shows. So the key for these people is to engage in regular gossip circles, because the audience, being largely brain dead, what they're mostly interested in are the beefs and the drama between YouTubers and influencers, as opposed to actual progress. And lastly, because none of these men are actually truly dominant men, they're not realizing that one has to rise to the top and actually dominate. There has to be a dominant ideology, a dominant organization, so that we can all move as one, because we're a part of one thing. And so in the absence of them actually being dominant, they're fragmented. And of course, they're invariably going to bump heads and retard whatever movement would happen. but in actual fact, there is no movement. It's just commentary. And so all the audience can hope for at best is to see two people who are quick-witted go at each other and talk crazy to each other for your entertainment. And that's precisely why you find that the lower classes remain not making progress, because in actual fact, they're more so lulled to sleep by entertainment, the circus, right? Shout out to Michael. He writes, I'm glad you can filter the content with this ism. You got to, you dig? Shout out to Adonis supporting the work. Looks like we're caught up. Carrying on. And thank you to those using the information below to support. You are appreciated. And thank you to the super chatters.
Talking about what we had in common, she wanted to talk about all the things that we had apart. And she in particular wanted to press me on if I really hated Jews and if I was really a racist. So that confounded me, because
now this is very womanly thinking. Do you really fill in the blank? It's like they're true disbelievers. People in general tend to not accept reality when they should. But the idea of asking Nick, is he really a racist? Oh, there are people who are not proud to be racist. You know, they're closeted racists. And when you have someone who's saying racist things on a consistent basis over time in the public sphere, you better believe that they're racist. There are people who would never say anything racist out loud, even to their family. They still might be racist. So surely he is racist. Very peculiar to question if he's racist. I mean, that's just, it shows a level of silliness and delusion. But what it really is it's hope. She's drunk on hope. Officer Tatum, Candace Owens, the twins, the fruity ones. These people, they're wishing that they'll be accepted. They're hoping that they can cozy up to the white supremacists. Shout out to Ural, writes Peace of the Saints.
If I'm an outside objective observer, maybe without all the information, I would say, wait, aren't Candace Tucker and Nick on the same side? But being me, I went to do her show with my suit on, ready to talk about the Iran war, the neocons, all this kind of stuff. And she's pressing me, why do you hate Dave Smith? Is it because he's Jewish? Do you hate Jews for being Jewish? Are you a racist? Is that why you're against race mixing? And so I finished the interview, and not to relitigate the whole thing, but this is just a summary of it. I finished the thing and I get on my show and I say, it's weird she's putting it behind a paywall. I said, and also I'm unhappy with what we talked about.
Now, that was dumb. He says it's weird she's putting it behind a paywall. Well, she's trying to get paid. I mean, what's weird about that? So that was a dumb thing. He acts as though they're all out here doing this for the love of the people. I mean, please knock it off. Shout out to Nikki supporting the work. Appreciate you. And yes, indeed, hit that like button.
I thought this was an olive branch. Clearly, it was some kind of like a lecture. I thought she was having me out to maybe extend an olive branch and connect. And instead, I got a wagging finger from a woman in my face, which I don't really care for. And then, as if to make matters better, she goes with Tucker Carlson. And Tucker, who, you know, me and him have a bit of a history, he calls me a basement dwelling, weird gay kid. He says,
yo, but let's be real, though. That's what it looks like. I mean, look at bro right now. It looks like he's in his mom's basement. He comes from a nice upper class white family. He's in his mom's basement. She's like, Nick, it's okay. You can be a podcaster. You can follow your dreams. And they create him the sickest studio. You feel me? Yeah, that's what it looks like. You're wearing an oversized hoodie. You look like a third grader. You look like you just got out of puberty. You have never gotten laid, which is the most like concerning part. Yeah, bro, like that's about right. Tucker fairly assessed you.
I'm a CIA agent. He unloads this personal attack on me. And so, yeah, I would not characterize that as infighting. I would say to me, that looks like a coordinated attack on me. And it's not purity's.
This guy's ridiculous. A coordinated attack, as though, no, it's content for the, like, come on, bro, it's content. Let's be real here. The reason that Candace had to disagree with you is because she knows that drama sells better. She knows conflict sells better, and you know that too. So stop acting like you didn't know what time it is, Brody. Knock it off. We're not dumb out here. He says, Nick talks like a person who is on Reddit all day, guaranteed. All these strange theories.
Spiraling. It is coming from them in the.
And I'm like, why are they letting him talk at length? This is so boring.
The other direction, saying that I'm too extreme. In fact, that's literally what Tucker said.
Yeah, but your words are extreme. You've never done anything. You know, it's like,
Tucker said that I am a crazy anti-Semite who is trying to make them look bad by being going on. And it all coincided with what you said, which is I'm on this generational run. I have broken containment. I'm going main.
Wait, hold on. You're on a generational run. I want you guys to understand what this means. These guys are influencers speaking from the perspective of an influencer. So when they say a generational run, they're not saying that you're the Martin Luther King, the Cesar Chavez, you're the fill in the blank meaningful figure of our time. What they're saying is that you're getting more famous. That's what they're saying. You're getting more popular, but not that you're actually doing anything. So really, they're just saying you're increasing in your celebrity, which I mean, that's good, but they're suggesting that there's greater meaning than, hey, you're going to get paid more and you're going to be recognized in the grocery store, when really there's no greater meaning. Shout out to Christopher. He writes, "Peace of the Saints. This is for the last 10 videos of yours, which I watched. Never forget who has given you game. Pay your way." I appreciate you. Shout out to the real ones. Yes, indeed.
Stream. Now, I would like
bro is arrogant to Myron and Tate. These guys are great listeners.
To do a show with Tucker and talk about our similarities and differences.
Now listen, pay attention. He says, I'd like to do a show with Tucker. So all he's really trying to do is position to get more exposure. And exposure for what? Just to aggrandize the self. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I think everyone should try to excel in their career. It's just that people think that there's movement behind it when it's like, nah, please stop it, knock it off. It's just a goofy ass young white kid who's a homosexual and a racist. And this is not new. We've seen that before. This is J. Edgar Hoover. You heard me, without a job.
I would have liked to do that with Candace Owens, but it seems like they're trying to keep me out.
Bro just repeated himself.
The first thing you can do, and you can make your own decision as a full-grown man, is it about you and your own personal feelings, which it's allowed to a bunch of people spamming my account saying that I'm a Jewish asset because my father was CIA. But I've been very honest and open about no. When someone says, Tucker's a Fed, his dad was in the CIA, I say, my dad was in the CIA.
I've already questioned Tate's narrative a while back. You guys may remember when I was like, wait, your dad was in the CIA and you were broke. Like, nah, that doesn't add up. Nah, that doesn't add up. So again, you have so many people in this industry that are phony. They're Gary Vaynerchuks. They say, oh, let me teach you how to start a business from scratch. I came to this country with nothing. Well, wait, nothing? Your family were entrepreneurs. They had a successful wine business, which they gifted to you. You didn't start from scratch. You're completely fictional, made up character. How are you going to teach someone to start from scratch when you grew up rich? Like, come on. I remember I saw Gary Vaynerchuk at the Wynn, actually, in Vegas. He looked sickly. He looked sickly and broke. Like, definitely not an energy you'd want to be around. But I say that to say the entirety of the industry is filled with people who got a great advantage from their family. And in many cases, they did well by it, as they should. But then they create this origin story, which is completely fictitious. And that's what annoys me, only in as much as, like, don't steal my story. You heard me? Like, be you. I'll be me. Like, I actually came from the mud. So I can tell you how to get it from nothing. And like really nothing, not from like I started with a business like Gary Vaynerchuk, or I got a small $1 million loan like Donald Trump, or I was poor, but my dad was CIA, which is the most powerful agency in the world, even more powerful than the government in America and the president included, because they're not audited and they have an infinite budget. Like, let's not start with these BS stories, guys. Come on, please. Please, like, who believes this stuff too? It's not even logical. Shout out to Mr. Buck writes, thank you for calling out the BS. Right. I mean, if you're in Central Intelligence Agency, you're a highly intelligent person. I applied to FBI and CIA, and we could talk about that on a different stream. I've spoken about it previously, but there's just no way in hell that you're qualified to actually make it into the Central Intelligence Agency, yet you're not intelligent enough to make a basic living so that your kids aren't in poverty. Like, please spare me. Nobody's that dumb to believe that.
Well, I like you anyway. I'm going to like you whether you like it or not. I'm going to say I like what Nick says. And I think that's
like, okay, so wait a second.
Does it seem like Tate is saying to himself, my name has been drugged through the dirt by all of these slores. And because they've drugged my name through the dirt so badly, for me to stay relevant, I have to attach onto the new up-and-comers, the younger folks, the folks who are newer to the business, the people whose names have yet to be soiled. So even though Nick's been critical of me, Andrew Tate, I'm going to speak well of Nick, especially to his face, so that I can attach myself to his rising star. Is that the strategy? Is that what you guys are sensing? And, you know, these guys are not dumb people, right? They're clever. Shout out to Dominic. He writes, Peace of the Saints, leaving to meet with a saint for a workout, Sasson or nothing, tuition. Exactly. It's different on this side. We actually have a movement. Shout out to Josiah. He writes, can't let Nikki's support be more than mine. Respectfully, Peace of the Saints. Oh, in a real way, man. Don't let the women beat you at a damn thing. And shout out to my lady saints. Philip writes, Peace of the Saints, following your words about increasing aggression has been extremely successful. I'm trying to tell you. Shout out to Philip. Had the pleasure of meeting him at the Big Game Conference. Now, also acknowledge Charlie from earlier today, and as well, Ramon. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss those.
These two are not on the same page. And I don't think you're on the same page with them even necessarily on this whole thing. And I guess what I would say about their,
you know, what's crazy? I would love to just pop on the stream just real quick to be like, hey, you guys hate this, you hate that, you hate this, you hate that. Name 2 actions, just 2 actions other than talking, 2 actions you guys have taken to remedy these problems. I think they'd be at a loss. Like, they'd be mind boggled. They'd be mind boggled. I mean, these guys are professional talkers. That's terrible.
attack is, in particular, Tucker's attack was to discredit me. Repeatedly, he insists, I have never talked about racial replacement migration. He insists, I'm not an enemy of Israel. I love Israel. I love going to Israel. Now, you know, what movement is he a part of? He's part of the movement where you work for Fox News for 20 years.
Well, here's the thing. Tucker is not purporting to be a part of a movement. Tucker says he's a journalist, and personally, he's a conservative. There's no movement there. You're the one who purports to be a part of a movement. And if you are, in fact, a part of a movement, the question is, what does your movement do other than complain? That's all I want to know. Other than complain, what does your movement do? Shout out to TD. And, you know, honestly, I'm kind of happy because it's Sasson or nothing. You hear me? And while they're like babbling, they might amass a high number of persons who are aware of what they think and believe, but they're not active. They're not militarized. They're not organized. So we're going to take it over anyways. You dig? Shout out to TD. He writes, in Sikhism, there's a tradition of selfless service called seva. Thank you for the seva, big homie. Peace of the Saints. I appreciate that. And shout out to all my Sikhs. You guys might not realize that we actually have a huge following of Sikhs, many of whom are in the UK. Shout out to the Canadian section as well. Carrying on.
And then when the whole world gets red-pilled, now you're going to talk about Israel a little bit?
Red-pilled. Who leads the red pill? Who created the red pill? What is that? Come on, please, just knock it off. And it's funny, speaking of red pill, I remember Tate years ago, this was years after I said it, but I said red pill is garbage, it's dead, it's nonsense, hashtag no pill. Marquettism is for the kids. Marquettism saves lives. And then like maybe a year or 2 after that, Tate said red pill is dead. Now here Nick is reconjuring it up, and we don't hear Tate objecting to that at all.
The movement where your dad's in the CIA, is the movement where you call up Trump and tell him to do a COVID lockdown, is the movement as well, and in particular Tucker. So that's sort of where I'm at.
Real important point. So I understand exactly where you're coming from. I totally get it. And one more thing with the whole Groyper movement as a whole, and I just want to say these things.
What's the move? I gotta Google this. What is the movement?
Them from an outside perspective. I am a friend of your movement. I consider myself a friend of yours. I believe in what you guys are. But I do think that it's... Shout
out to Tate. Tate is a complimentary young gentleman. Tate is kind of like Trump. You know, I love everything he's doing. You know, you're going to be very successful. You're very good looking. Everything you're doing is huge. Love it. I love it. It's the best. I don't think I've seen anything better. It's a good movement. Good. He is very, very complimentary.
Very difficult. We have to draw a line somewhere. And we have to have some degree of, well, what are the parameters then? Okay, Tucker did attack Nick, perhaps, or candidates attack Nick, perhaps, fine. But if they are exposing X, Y, Z, is that worthwhile?
Did her show with me. She did her show with Tucker, and then she does a show with Milo. Elon Musk replies to Milo calling me a fad. Well, then you come in.
Bro, it's out. We all know, my boy. Good Lord. Elon and called you a fruitcake? That's crazy. Use a fruitcake, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Listen, if you're watching me right now in the chat and you are aged, how old is Nicholas? Someone tell me how old Nicholas is. Whatever his age is, if you're at that age and you've never gotten one piece of pie, you heard me? You expeditiously, you need the Big Game Conference. Somebody drop the link to the Big Game Conference because you're down bad. It's not natural. It's not natural. It's not good. Ooh, I can just imagine the level of like just pent up aggression. Like these people gonna end up being shooters.
And kind of, you didn't really pick.
It's funny how it's hurting his feelings. So he's like, he called me up, bro. That's what y'all are, man. That's what we just call a spade. You feel good calling the blacks N words. Hey, it is what it is. He called you the F word. That's what y'all are.
Aside, but
I mean, technically, when you really think about it, if you're an evidence-based person, there's no evidence that you're heterosexual. That's kind of weird. Let's be, come on, here we go. There's no evidence you're heterosexual. That's kind of weird. Come on, work with me. Work with me.
Sort of said the Brigitte Macron thing's legit, and you said the Groypers talk too much about the Jews, or you know, that they blame the Jews or something. Money. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of people came to me privately and said, I'm on your side. I agree with you, but I can't speak out against connections, because it's not lost on me that, you know, like Tucker Carlson, one of his critiques of me, he said that I am delegitimizing someone like JD Vance. And I said, well, wait a second. You know, Tucker had JD Vance on his show for Tate's the enemy. Remind him his dad was in the CIA. What I respect about you is you talk to me. I have your number. I talk to
What I respect about you is that you talk to me. Did anybody else catch that was, oh, did bro say what I respect about you is that you talk to me? Did that land on anybody else? Was that just me? That's kind of weird. I don't respect you for you. I don't respect you for your characteristics. I'm important. I'm narcissistic. I'm everything. So I respect you because you talk to me and I'm important. That's crazy. That was insanity. Bro is off his rocker right now. This young boy is off his rocker. Good Lord. Shout out to Buddy writes, peace to the saints. Yes, indeed. Peace to the saints. Said he claims he's waiting for marriage. No, that's all good. It's just, why aren't you married though, bro? Like, why are you taking so long? Like, why does that need to take forever? Can someone help me out on that?
you. I've been on streams with you. You're transparent. You said your dad is in the CIA. We didn't have to dig that out of anywhere. And to me, that's the difference. Is there that
same team? And we're never all going to agree on everything. I like what you said about the transparency point. That's fantastic. Me thought, in my infinite ignorance, that Ian Carroll was a good guy. He exposed things, and I watched his videos, and I thought, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting. And then I saw his feed, and everyone was calling him a Jewish plant. And I'm like, maybe I'm part of them. They're laughing. They're fine.
Well, one thing I do want to remark on with regards to all this talk about plants and the Jews control this or that is just a reality of the fact that you have a lot of people who are uneducated. That, you know, education, formal education does have some merit to it. And the merit is that it teaches you to go through a critical thinking process, to be a bit more scientific, to understand how to investigate certain ideas, to pull out fallacy. And the fact is, especially when you pair lack of education with lower IQ or average IQ, then you're going to get bad outcomes. And that's precisely why people like Rush Limbaugh were able to thrive. And the new Rush Limbaugh of today will be an Alex Jones. It'll be a Tucker not Tucker. It'll be a Candace Owens. It'll be a Tate-Fuentes and Andrew Tate. And they're basically preying on things that may be true. You know, like they're talking about things that may not be provable, but may be true, conspiracy theories. And it's often about things that are fairly petty. I'll give you an example. As an intelligent, productive, happy person, do I care if Brigitte Macron is a dude? No, not really. Like, not really. It's of no personal interest, and it's of no public meaning, because the individual is not portraying themselves as the opposite gender. They may very well be born a female. It's just like, it's irrelevant. And this is how you know you're dealing with people who don't have meaning in their lives. And that's one of the things that I teach, not only to have a movement to impact the society, but to have movement inside, like be able to improve the self. You're an effing idler if your main concern is Brigitte Macron a woman or a man? It's like, who cares? Like, she lives, the individual lives in France. You live in America. It's just completely unrelated, but these are the distractions that people turn into the focus. You've allowed a distraction to become your focus. And you have to know that these persons are money and attention hungry. That's why they're going live constantly 3 times a day, huge video output. And to maintain that level of output, you have to be able to make a story of things that are not stories. That's why they're talking about things that are irrelevant. Come on now. Come on now. Shout out to Soul that's supporting the work. Appreciate you. And shout out to all the folks who are here getting this work. Pause. Shout out to Juan. He writes, keep your foot on their necks. Peace of the saints. Oh, in a real way. And I'm not going to show up and say, hey, we're all the same. We're all in it together. Nah, hell nah. Assassin or nothing. Straight like that. And it's always going to be like that. You dig? Marquettism is for the kids. Marquettism saves lives. Everything.
That's the only point I'm making.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I just, then it's got to be all in the family because they instigated with me. I would have been glad to join up with Tucker. And honestly,
you see, again, he's talking about, I'd be glad to join up with Tucker. He's basically saying, let me on your show, make me more famous, get me more money. It's recurring. Are you guys not hearing it? It's not that he wants to push forward his movement. We don't hear anything about his ideas, his ideology, his movement, the people that he works with, the men he's put on, like none of that. It's about make me more famous. Shout out to Stop Playing Trey, supporting the work. Good to see you. He writes, what are your thoughts on sports betting? I think in general, betting is something to avoid. Gambling and betting is something to avoid. So let's leave it at that. Have I ever sports bet on boxing? Oh, absolutely. But also factor in that I actually personally know many of the fighters. I've been in the gym with them. In some cases, I've sparred them. So you have to factor in, you get an advantage in life from insider knowledge. So if you ever saw, and you guys have seen me on live before with my assistant, we'd be going down to the fights. And remember, your boy got floor seats, you dig? And if I'm betting on a fight, you might have saw me in a photo with Bud Crawford. You might have saw me in a photo with Canelo Alvarez or Danny Jacobs or what was the boy from the UK? I can't remember his name right now. Tyson Fury. So there's a different level of insight you can get. And then also Caleb Plant, we fight out of the same gym. And I could go on. David Benavidez, been to his gym. So there's a different level of insight you get, and it's more interesting, it's more fun. But I generally recommend against gambling in all its forms, sports betting, of course. And remember, certain things have more variables, right? You really want to be a scientist with everything that you do. So for example, if you're betting on boxing, you're betting on 2 individuals, it's a little bit easier to manage, right? However, if you're betting on football, there's so many different persons and so many different variables. Same thing with basketball. So if you were betting on a sport that's a little bit more predictable, or it should be more manageable, like boxing makes sense. Even MMA is not as good as boxing because the records are so spotty and the number of ways to strike are numerous. Elbows, knees, kicks, punches. There's just so many slams. There's so many ways to strike, which means that even great fighters can get caught slipping. There are more surprises. Whereas with boxing, the sweet science has fewer ways to strike, which means that you can have mastery, and you'll have guys like Mayweather, and you bet on them your whole life and win consistently. Floyd Mayweather, I'm a lot younger than Floyd Mayweather. So like you guys have to factor that in. Like his real career was over. Not that if I did spar him, I would do well. You guys might not be able to perceive how good he is. He is the best who has ever lived in the sport of boxing. Out of respect, I wouldn't even try to spar Floyd because it's an insult. You feel me? Audio choppy. Give me a second. Confirm that the audio's back, Bracken. We good on audio? Bro said, would I spar Floyd? Like, that would be a total waste of everybody's time. Like, that would just be me doing it for my own, like, arrogance. Like, just happy to be in the ring with the master. Shout out to Floyd. Shout out to his family. Very good folks every time I've encountered them.
Here's what I'll say on the stream. I still am. because it's true that Tucker is getting torched by a lot of his erstwhile Jewish or pro-Israel allies.
Yep.
There's no question about that. And same with Candace Owens.
Yep.
Candace and Tucker, and to your point, you know, just to demonstrate, because I think I'm objective and I think I'm magnetic.
Shut up. You're an idiot. Anyways, here's the thing that I want you guys to pay attention to. So, number one, notice the level of stupidity on the internet. We're playing games where we're accusing people like, oh, he's Jewish. Oh, he's controlled by the Jews. Word. Because someone disagrees with you, now they're Jewish. They disagree with you, now they're a Zionist. Like, are we not noticing like the stupidity? It's mudslinging. This is classic, right? This is how politics has always gone. It's mudslinging, pettiness. So nothing new is under the sun. And this idea of so-and-so is a plant, or they just have a different opinion than you do, or it's just them having bad ideas. There's so many other explanations as opposed to the like conspiracies of like this person's working for the Jews. And I also want you guys to take note that we're in an era where there's not only a lot of misinformation, but there's revisionist history going on. I saw in my comments on Instagram, some psychopath, a white guy, he said, you know, white people didn't enslave black people in America. It was the Jews. Word, my nil. The Jews did it. The Jews didn't even have enough population to do that. Like, come on, please stop it. And also, if you track back through American society, American history, just like every other nation, they were anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitic at a level that the Jews would not have been able to accumulate wealth at that level. Furthermore, if you look at migration into America, the Jews did not have any meaningful presence in the United States at that time during enslavement. I mean, it's just utterly ludicrous. Shout out to Andre. He writes, mildly disagree. A greater population size yields a more predictable outcome. I've been most successful gambling on politics due to this. Well, if you believe that gambling is a good thing, like how so? Like, are you saying for making you wealthy? Are you saying for fun and entertainment? I mean, let me know. And also, I'd tell you, if you're here to give advice on gambling, like I will yield to you on that one, because my advice is don't gamble. My advice is 1,000% don't gamble. And I'd actually say that if you found me 100 people who say gambling is good and then found me 100 people who say gambling is the devil, I bet my life that the 100 people who say gambling is the devil have a higher net worth than the ones who say gambling is good. And I think it's worth noting while I say this that Dr. Umar Johnson, currently broke, gambler, no doubt. And I'm not talking about gambling in the stock market. I'm talking about slot machines and petty things like that, sports betting, all of that. But to the gentleman who's a CPA, Andre, I'm a little disappointed in you in as much as even if you believe what you're saying, I would never hire you, because a CPA is someone who deals in numbers, in mathematics, and in sensitive matters. With my tax strategist or my CPA, I want to have a strong relationship. I want to rely on them not to cheat me, to manage my financial accounts and my sensitive information. And to know that my CPA, which is someone whose whole livelihood is circled around money and the stewardship of money, is irresponsible in gambling. Like, that's a bad look. So I think it'd be much wiser of you to never, ever, ever in your life state that you gamble while also having a job wherein you have to deal with other people's money. That's some free advice. Shout out to School. He writes, dropping my tuition, respect, peace of saints, bless up, appreciate you. Bernadette. Candace has a beautiful family. She should consecrate on them instead of the idiotic. I think you meant concentrate. Yes, I think that's a typo. Concentrate. Yeah, I agree. But Candace is a feminist, and that's why she's more so concerned with being on the telly.
Animus. I think that Candace and Tucker, you're 1,000% correct. They have brought a lot of people closer to the truth. There is just no question. Candace with the women.
When I hear people talk about the truth, I know that they're probably low IQ. The truth doesn't matter. It's like sheer stupidity. The truth is totally irrelevant. It's an immature thing to talk about the truth. Yeah, that woman is not very intelligent and she's quite annoying. I don't think she's intelligent enough to know that she's wasting people's time. And again, this is why I cut people off so quickly. Thank you for taking that meeting. I appreciate the summary. So, can you agree that that is out? We're not going to do a deal with her at all. And also, I'm actually on a live session. So, can I get with you a little bit later? Yeah, do everything to avoid dumb people. There's so many of them. They're everywhere. Good Lord. Thank God. Anyways, shout out to Enola. Enola writes, tuition, it's been a while. Indeed, it has. Good to see you back. Acknowledge the bowler alert. Shout out to Kyle, writes, tuition. Shout out to Kyle. Shout out to my real ones. Jeremy, shout out to the people who are really a part of this thing of ours. Like, because we got our movement. You dig? Like, we already 100% out here. Yes, indeedy.
Tucker with the normies and, Candace with the normie women, I suppose, and you as well. I mean, but we're talking about them in this case and you without a doubt as well. So I do believe there's room for cooperation. It's like we said before, though, if that's sort of my perspective, I'm sort of coming to Candace to join up, but she's telling me you're a racist anti-Semite. And I'd like.
You are a racist anti-Semite. Why? What the heck? Why are people lying out here? Bro's a racist anti-Semite, isn't he? That's crazy. That's like me being like, someone's like, hey, do you hate fat people? I'm like, no, I'm cool with fat people. Like, no, they're disgusting pig animals. They stink and they're sweating constantly. There's nooks and crannies everywhere. It's utterly filthy. Yeah, I don't like them. So I'm not going to lie to you. Bro is lying. He's a racist and an anti-Semite. Why is he lying? This is extraordinary.
To cooperate with Tucker, but he's calling me a fed and I'm this loser and all this. It's like, so I would extend the olive branch to someone like Tucker. And me.
Damn, that was like the 19th time. He's like, I'd extend the olive branch to someone like Tucker. Are you guys noticing how bad he's trying to get on Tucker's show? Come on. Is anyone in the chat noticing this? Talk to me, people. Talk to me. This guy is the worst.
I have such a consciousness for the team. Me and Candace have a very vicious rivalry right now. For me, it is, and I say this, my right hand to God, it is not personality driven. It is not ego driven. I could forgive her tomorrow.
Like, I don't care who makes the work if the work is good. And I noticed after your argument with her, everyone was saying that her Brigitte series was bullshit.
It's weird that Candace is so hung up on the French president because in America, journalism, I think the evidence is flimsy. And
coming decades, if there is.
You know what's crazy? You guys, you remember when you were a young boy and you wanted to go holler at a female? So you walk up on her and you didn't have anything to say. And so it's just like, it felt like the world was moving like super slow because you didn't have any like conversation topics. That's kind of like what this is, watching these guys. This is terrible.
An elite pedophile ring, which is in charge of his country, especially if you want to tie this to Epstein and everything else. And the fact that Epstein is going to raise charges on me.
Stuff works. And for me, I was the young edgelord. I was a young shit poster troll. Is concerned. I think Candace is sincere. I don't find it very compelling. And I think at the minimum, it is being picked up by Russia on some level because Russia is adversaries with France.
Also completely correct in saying this is being picked up by Russia. This is a personal.
Man, has there been one time that Tate has disagreed with anything that Nick has said? Like every single time, like Nick, the Skittle guzzler, was like, hey, here's my balls. And Tate was like, here, give them to me. I know what to do with them. Spit shine these balls. Like, this is good Lord. Good Lord. Shout out to Andre. He writes, my advice is don't gamble ever. Okay, there you go. There you go. But if you do, treat it as entertainment, not as investing. My only contention was with your point that fewer variables is better than more variables, i.e. a team sport. I think we'll continue disagreeing on that. But the good news is that I ain't going to challenge you to test who's right because gambling is wrong in every case. I think we can agree there.
Decision. This is me speaking from my personality. I wasn't the one who was attacked by them like you were, but I have been attacked by a lot of people.
Basically, I got a couple questions here.
Shout out to Myron. This guy is the best listener of all times. I kid you not. This conversation started. I have fast forwarded through most of it. And let's see, it is approximately an hour in. Myron didn't say a damn word. Shout out to Myron. This man is a quality listener.
And I think it'll be interesting because you know, we can sit here and talk about certain topics and stuff like that. But I think these questions will give people a better insight as to, you know, your guys' mindset on some things. So what I'll do is I got these questions. I'll answer it first to give you guys time to, you know, come up with your own things. Right? And how did that change the trajectory of your content or public persona? So for me, the thing that red pilled me, and I kind of broke it down into categories.
Okay, so he said, how did you get red pilled, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and skip that one.
Patriarchy, and it allowed us to fend off foreign invaders.
Wait, real quick. Look at Nick at the bottom. Like, bro looks like he has never had him a piece of pie. This ball looks like he is 2 seconds away from loading up the UWAP and going to an elementary school and just letting them have it. Look at bro down there. He looks like he has an old ass face, but a young body. How you got the body of an 11-year-old girl in China? This is terrible. What's wrong with this fella? Who told him wearing an enormous plain khaki hoodie was a good idea? Extraordinary. But shout out to bro, got the green fake flowers in his setup. Like, I need me some fake flowers. Somebody send me an Amazon link. I need a PO box. I'm accepting gifts. I'm Dr. Umar out here. That super chat was good. $10. Next time, make it 20. I know you barely even had that.
And reproduce and have children and be in love. And it allowed men to feel like they had a stake in society worth fighting for. Men used to paint a beautiful girl on the side of a Spitfire and go die. Like, we did all of this for women, not because we hated women. We didn't oppress.
This is where Tate and I disagree vehemently. Like, this idiotic appeal to like some nostalgic past that never actually existed. This is dumb. Men didn't go die for women. Men went and died in wars because of conscription. They went and died in wars because of the plutocrats lied to them and tricked them into thinking that they were under some kind of attack. They went and died in wars for identity, in many cases, false and meaningless identity. They weren't dying in wars for these slurs. I mean, this is complete stupidity, but it's like Tate refuses to adopt any new ideas. It's like, does bro read at all? Because he keeps repeating the same shit. It's like, goddamn.
Women. We did it for them. He has to parade his wife around.
It was also like a big red pill because since women tend to...
Is Tate over here smoking hookah during the interview? Like, bro, lounges smoking hookah. I be seeing Tate doing that. I was like, bro, what's going on with you, man? Like, you got to chill with all the weird stuff. Like, please.
Defer to the masses. The fact that we locked down, the fact that we had all these scares, that I think is very indicative of how much we value the communitarian nature of women.
Well, the reason they're so scared of me and the reason they're trying to get rid of me is because when you have women in charge of a society, you can use emotional arguments. It's
process like it is for everybody.
Look at Tate right here. He holding the pipe to his mouth. No, I'm gonna enlarge this. Yeah, he's holding the pipe to his mouth. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Is Tate holding a pipe to his mouth? There you go. You see people keep saying they didn't get a notification for the live stream. It's not by accident. It's by design. But I need to know, why is Tate holding a pipe to his mouth? And is that a good example? And is that what a Muslim would do? Somebody let me know. I'm just curious. Am I crazy? Shout out to Roland. He writes, peace of the saints. It's an honor. Thank you for all of the knowledge. Your advice to read The Richest Man in Babylon changed my financial IQ by leaps. You're welcome. And I appreciate you sharing that. For those of you who would like a good reading list, and also send this to Tate, because I think that he'd be edified by it. You go to Amazon.com/shop/the saint and the sinner. And there's a great reading list there. He writes, a Muslim would never do that. Well, I wish that were true. I've actually traveled extensively in the Muslim world, and a Muslim would do that. They would smoke shisha. They would smoke many things. And even I know many Afghans who actually drink alcohol as well. A Muslim would do that. But I think the language you're looking for is a Muslim should not do that. And the problem is that you have all of these celebrity reverts, and the Ummah is so foolish that they celebrate the sneakos, who's also homosexual, when in reality they should condemn these people and require these people to actually practice the Deen correctly, as opposed to using religion as a cloak and as something to gain popularity in a growing region of the world, and the fastest growing religion, and a region of the world that is financially taking leaps and bounds.
Buddy, I was a basic bitch, considered all the libertarian stuff, and I read all the...
Can you guys imagine how much vagina Nick did not get in high school? Can you just even, it's staggering, honestly, just looking at bro, like This boy's over here talking about like in high school, I read all of the conservative stuff in high school. I was a conservative. Me and the groypers, we used to grope each other. That's how the name came about, groypers, because we groped each other. And I'm the realest N-word because I would use grope N-words, booty cheeks and their balls. Like, bro, is weird, man. Like, who? Like in high school, I was reading all of the libertarian stuff. It's like, high school, I was trying to get, you heard me in high school. I was smashing all the chicks you wanted to smash, homie. I was doing the most in high school. Like, you're a nerd and a loser, my boy. Kyla writes, Saint, you are the truth. She is the truth as well. I don't get involved in politics. I leave that to men, but I wanted a black leader to lead our culture. It will definitely be you. I appreciate that, love. Shout out to the real ones. But we're going to lead the whole culture. You dig?
Conservative and neoconservative stuff. And I was a Ben Shapiro fan. Enough said. That's just what there was, you know, back in those.
Exactly. You're brainless. Shout out to Nikki. She writes, he is as much a Muslim as Fuentes is straight. Exactly. Him boy in his mid to late 20s still ain't had him a piece of pie. Bro, knock it off. Sit down somewhere, fruity.
Days, if you were a mainstream person. And then 5 hours later, they had all these explanations. They said, oh, it was too hot. Oh, she actually had pneumonia. And she comes out of Chelsea Clinton's apartment.
First on this one, then turn it to you guys. The thing that got me automatically put in the box of, misogynist or whatever, which is kind of like how all this started, was back in 2020. I made a comment saying, if a woman flakes on a date, you need to punish that bad behavior. And she's got to go ahead and pay for the first round of drinks when you guys meet up.
Okay, so that's an interesting thing because my boy Myron, I think, is Muslim. So I don't know what the first round of drinks is. I think he doesn't drink as far as I know. But me personally, if Shorty's flaking on the date, like, nah, I don't need to punish you. Like, it's a wrap. Like, you heard me? You done. You done. We on to the next. We ain't got time like that. There's like billions of women on the planet Earth. Why am I going to waste time with someone who has already proven themselves to be unreliable? It's just not even a good use of time. But, you know, that's where our games diverge. You dig?
On the reschedule, right? And like The View and a bunch of, left-wing shows looked at it like, you do what you make. Hey, maybe The View, like, still, I would say that was the first thing that kind of got me in.
This is crazy. Look at Nick right there looking weird as hell, rubbing his chin because bro's perplexed. Nick is like, women? We're talking about women? I don't know anything about that. Tate, what do you think? Like, bro's over here, Grindr. You know about that app Grindr? Yeah, okay. That's probably a good thing.
And then obviously a bunch of other things I said about women and, top H and all this other shit. But bring it up. But
said I was anti-Semitic on this. To have any degree of loyal men around you.
That's crazy. They start talking about women. Nick ain't had nothing to say. Nick was at a loss for words.
Men who do not bend to peer pressure.
I got a question for you, Nick, because when it comes to women, me and Tate have a very similar ideology. That sexual experience.
Myron, bro, quit trolling, homie. Would you try to ask him something about women? He doesn't know. He doesn't have any experience.
Increase your net worth, become the highest status you can be, and then kind of have your pick of the litter and get to a position where female sexual leverage can no longer control you, right? Someone like yourself, right? You're religious, you're devout Catholic.
Is he though?
Obviously, you're young. You have a huge young audience that follows.
Wait, is he young? How old is Nick Fuentes?
Obviously, on one end, you have the Catholic mindset where, monogamy, one wife, etc. But on the other hand, we know the realities of modern women now in 2025 versus 1955. And a lot of people that are
okay, just for the record, Nick Fuentes is 26 years old. So he's in what's called his late 20s. He's creeping up on 30. That's not young, especially like you haven't had any vagina. Like, that's insanity. It's gay is what it is. Anyways, shout out to Dimitri, writes, peace to the saints. Appreciate you. Shout out to the real ones.
Situation. How should men navigate the current sexual marketplace in your opinion?
How are you asking about the sexual marketplace to someone who's never had sex? I mean, come on, Myron, bro. You my boy, but you wilding with that one. That don't even make any sense. That's like asking a fat person, like, what workout plan do you recommend? Have a workout plan. They've never had a workout plan. You asking a virgin about, come on, man, this is crazy. Shout out to Milt. He writes, Nick would be scared to debate you. Bro, he'd be scared to debate me remotely. He'd just be scared in general. He probably has trauma that a girl of his dreams chose you over him. Listen, man. We're so, like, bro is a very small individual. You know, like he can't even be a proper racist. The white supremacy ideology is around the idea of the Aryan Superman, but Nick is small and scrawny. It's like he's the mutt, the runt of the litter.
Well, I did a whole show about this on the
How, bro? How did you do a show about women?
Walsh versus Tate debate. And
oh, did he skip the question? That was crazy. Okay, fair enough. Shout out to Mr. Chapman, comes in by PayPal. He writes, tuition, peace to the saints. Appreciate you. Shout out to Mr. Chapman. I'll be seeing this man getting his work in.
Obviously, I'm Catholic, so I do believe in one wife, one wife, monogamous.
You believe in one wife, but you have 0, though.
No adultery, no cheating, and you have kids. But I do think that the trad cats, the traditionalists, they're just not being honest about the deal. They want to LARP like it's the 50s, but it's not the 50s. Or it was doing, but the whole situation was different. There was a social and call. They didn't have group chats.
What bothers me about the internet is when we start listening to people because we like them, not because they're reasonable, rational, well-informed. You'd be a fool to listen to a man say one single sentence about women and he's not ever laid down with a woman. I mean, that's utterly ridiculous. It's just true insanity. This is like a person who's speculating and doesn't have the decency to say, hey, you know what? This is beyond my experience. I know no more than the people who are watching me at home. I mean, it's just like, it just shows you there's no integrity there whatsoever. You're a virgin talking about relationships. Come on, bro. Get a life. Shut up,
guy
bro.
says, oh, she's an angel. God gave me an angel and all this kind of stuff. And the woman is thinking, this pussy, I'm going to run this guy's life. I'm the one who's in charge of the house. And
he's just making up stuff from people he heard on the internet. He doesn't even know. He has no idea. Shout out to Dimitri, comes in by Venmo, writes, peace of the saints. I'm guessing this is a different Dimitri. We got like 3 Dimitris. Shout out to Mackenzie. He writes, shout out to the big homie. Was very much so inspired by your film and how quickly you produced it. You're a great screenwriter. Peace of the saints. I appreciate you, man. And thank you for peeping the writing. I feel like people wasn't like really peeping the writing quality. Now, some of the actors, questionable. We tried to get the most out of them. We're going to definitely put together and release that behind the scenes footage. It's pretty entertaining. Just seeing the attempts to pull emotion and to pull certain behaviors out of people who are, everyday folks like you and I, not actors.
I hate seeing it. And for this, they call me gay. For this, they
listen, this was like the 5th time he said that. Like, that really hurts his feelings. We got to keep that up. We got to keep it up. It hurts his feelings.
They say I'm anti-family. For this, they say I'm a fake Catholic.
You
they
are.
say, why don't you encourage your followers to get married?
Yeah,
I think they should do it, but I think they should do it responsibly. And they got to put the women in their place.
Hey, but trip on this, guys. Would you trust somebody telling you to do something they've never done? That sounds crazy. Would you trust someone to telling you to do something they've never done? Like, I wouldn't trust it. You feel me? Like, if I was on here like, hey, guys, you guys should become Skittle guzzlers. You can go get busted up your backside by a big black guy named Tambuzi the Booty Bandit. Like, if I told you to do that and I'm not doing it, you might say, well, maybe there's a reason he's not doing it. Or maybe he hasn't done it, so he doesn't know how very unpleasant that is. Don't trust people trying to advise you on things that they have 0 experience with. I mean, it's utterly ridiculous. And just the fact that these other 2 gentlemen are sitting there not challenging him at all. And that's what we have consistently, is that we have these people collaborating. And mind you, this is why I don't collaborate with people, because I'm going to show up with the truth. They're going to show up to slap 5s and be buddy with each other. And that's why they collaborate, because they like each other and everything's predictable, right? It's predictable. They know you're not going to disagree with me. You're not going to call me out. So let's collaborate. This is what happens with Dr. Umar, right? You see Dr. Umar go on 106 in Park, the Breakfast Club, and everyone's like making nice with him, but they're not saying, hey, Dr. Umar, you embezzled $5 million. Hey, Dr. Umar, you have been building a school for 15 years. Hey, Dr. Umar, you've not taught one single class. One class. Hey, Dr. Umar, you said that the tile needs to be put down in the school, but it's been like 3 years. Hey, and you'd be done by now. So they don't call each other out because they're essentially business collaborators. They're business collaborators. They're not objective reporters. They're not revolutionaries. They're business collaborators. They're agreeable. Yes, they're like good women. They're what good women should be: agreeable, easygoing with each other.
Oh, me. Here's the thing. I find women incredibly annoying. I'm a super high.
Bro, I mean, you're not the only one, but you're probably annoyed because they won't give you no cat. You heard me? That's probably what's pissing you off, and I understand. That'll piss you off sometimes.
IQ person. I find most people annoying in general. Most men don't.
Shut up.
The allegations.
Things he wants to live by. I get it. The life system I came up with was basically me just looking at the chessboard and going, okay, there's the game they want me to play.
Yeah, okay. Send in your questions, comments. We're winding down. I started this thing an hour behind, and I've been able to skip up to see it in real time. So that just lets you know, like, they ain't really saying too much of value. But shout out to my boy Myron. Shout out to Myron for working hard and keeping things going.
The best move on the board. How do I get children? How do I not end up being nagged? How do I not get divorce raped? How do I keep my sovereignty? And I made that decision to do those things so I can have 25 children because I believe that's the most important thing to do. But
as a white person, right, to expand the white race, y'all keep saying Tate is black. As like, come on, if Tate is black, Nick's heterosexual. Anyways, shout out to Darius. He writes, this is exactly like the 304 lawyer talking about litigation. No knowledge at all. Agree. She does have some big boobies. Booby. Maybe one a baba. Maybe one a baba. Shout out to Ricardo. And really, that's like her highlight. Like, that's like the only thing that's important about her. That's terrible. I hate to say it. Shout out to Ricardo. He writes, peace to the saints, tuition. Yes, indeed. Peace to the saints. Also, shout out to Ricardo, who just became a member on patreon.com/the Saint in the Center. And we welcome all of you.
Doing that has alienated a huge swath of people who then say I'm a bad person because I'm not married and I don't have one wife and I'm not Catholic and that I am a terrible Jew for some reason. Yeah, there was a pretty simple societal contract which has now been broken. I'll take care of you. I'll listen. We're right. We have a lot of things to do when it comes to the house. Defend that
like
street
DJ,
or defend that town. Defend over a fucking
it's a DJ though.
And you're wondering why they get away with what they get away
your
with.
boy's a DJ out
That's
here.
why big women such.
That's when you know they're not
That's why they
spitting
push
any
it so
game when I
heavily.
would rather
That's
just
why they have the
DJ
full
Tate's
force of the
voice.
law
That's
behind them,
crazy.
who
Other
are-
Mike,
who,
we
by
right.
the way, are
Netflix is
men
going to steal your
with
show
guns.
premise,
Men.
I bet. Bro,
So
that's
it's
why
a-
we got
it's
to
a
get to
really
work. We got to
precarious
pump it out.
scenario,
You
and I have a
dig?
lot of young people who come to me and ask the same question, and I don't even have an answer.
And I don't even have an answer. Me and Tristan and I are not really black and we're not really brothers because I'm bald head and Tristan still has hair. Yes, we did both get a hair surgery, but mine failed. Tristan's didn't fail. Okay. We're not black, but we like saying the N-word. It's okay. All right. Anyways, let's say the creed of the assassin. Ladies and saints, let's go ahead and wind this down right here. It's been a pleasure, but I tell you what, I'll be back soon. I'll tell you why. Apparently, there's some news. My good friend Myron, there's in fact some news. So I will be following up to share some game because, and I don't know if the news is true or false. I did reach out to him. I always reach out to people that I know personally before I make a video about them because that's the kind of honorable person I am. And I didn't hear back from him. So I'm going to proceed, of course, to make the video without any input from him. So do know that it'll just be based on what I've seen. So I don't know if it's true or false, but regardless, there's a lot of game to be shed. So if you like good game, do tune in, keep your eyes open. And I'll try to do you all the favor of, if you're a member, I'll post on the member site to tell you guys what time it is. Can you remind me to do that before I do the live session? Post on the member sites so that they actually get a notification. And don't get too excited, folks. I mean, good Lord, I didn't even let it out the bag. And like people in the chat letting it out the bag. It's like, come on, man. So stay sharp with me. Stay sharp with me. So anyways, ladies and saints, let us end this with our tradition, the creed of the assassin. Repeat after me with full conviction, knowing this is true of you. The creed of the assassin. I am going to be who I truly am because I am remarkable. And I'm going to strive every moment to show the greatest part of who I am. Until next time, peace to the saints.